Traders, hello. It's sweltering in the UK. I'm not at the beach, and I wish I was uh, with friends. I can barely even think straight, to be honest with you. It's so hot. We've got aircon going and all sorts happening. I just wish I was in and out of the water in the sea. But there you go. Um, Talking about this sort of thing, I mentioned something on Twitter. Um, this volatility is not a problem when you have worked out the way to trade this stuff. I mean, it's all about the timing and studying multi time frame momentum and stuff like that now. More and more and more. And the more you study it, the better you will get. I put a tweet out on Twitter saying, you just got to practice and practice and practice. And to be fair, I've been saying this for a long, long time. I probably never dreamt I would get to this stage in my own trading now, because I think I mentioned in the previous video, I've said hundreds of times, or dozens and dozens of times, that it just can't keep improving, and then it does. So took this long here because I mean that's a hammer candle. Sorry, I don't know why quite why I'm on bars. You can't see the trade. That's why actually. That's a hammer candle. That's the daily open. That's only recently gone on my charts in this sort of highlighted fashion. It's always been in there in little dotted grey lines. TMT daily candle showed us where the open was anyway, but I've sort of got blind to that now on my charts because it'd be nice if we could have a sort of a little dashboard with it on. Don't know whether anyone's got one. If so, give me a shout. But recent candles dashboards does that anyway because you can instantly see where you are in relation to the day's open if it's a green candle and so on and so forth. But it might be nice to have a little dashboard of where all the daily opens are. It'd be lovely on the end of there or something, wouldn't it? But I suppose it's just being lazy now, and I'd get blind to that. So don't get to work on it special, any of you coders out there. It's just whether you found a indicator like it. I know there's a massive multi-dashboard thing that I should have a look at, but it is cumbersome. It's on Forex Factory, by the way. So this cheeky little trade up here, 120 odd, so 12 points, 12 pips, 120 odd points. That wasn't risky, in my opinion. And this is where the improvements with practice. That's the whole point of this video, actually. Just guys, there's no avoiding practice. I know it sounds maybe a little bit arrogant, but I'm in a position. I feel like I'm in a position to be that way right now. Most traders, I'm not saying I'm a really good trader, but in the past, any traders that know what they're doing tend to be quite arrogant, to be honest with you, because they got past the scary stages of trading, if you like. When you never knew you were going to make it or not. So we've got so much. I know everyone thinks my charts are a mess, but everything's on this chart for a reason. The TMT, the clock here, the timing. In fact, it worked. The fact that New York, just that little thing like the New York time, gives me huge confidence. Thinking, crikey, these guys have only been working 3 or 4 hours today. They want to make a bundle more money, and that. So the world doesn't stop when London goes home, and that in itself is another important part of my template here. That is the pivots are. Aaron's indicator is. The RSI histo, oh my goodness, don't forget that. I mean, that is that. Look, virtually every blue arrow will be a buy opportunity. That one failed. That one wasn't too good. But remember, also, we trade the open of the blue arrow using the lower time frames to check that they may have momentum. If they've got momentum with the close of a blue arrow, then you trade the breakout of the high of, say, for example, this is a 15-minute, trade the breakout of the high of M5 or M1, depending on the timing. That's all new. The way they close through the 3CR, that's dangerous because that one, you expect a reversal. Look what happened. So everything on here is all coming together at the same time and just exploding. And you've got it. You don't need. It's on your charts, and you can look back at all those tweets and things I've made. Use the hashtags. Use the refined search on. I think it's still on my pinned tweet there. And I didn't mention this. Look, shorts ain't on the cards. So when this came down here, it wasn't even a potential short because the M30, the H1, I don't use the M30, so the H1 four times that to get to the higher time frame RSI proxy. Go to the M30 and it'll look even more potentially bullish. It just isn't short. Okay, you can get 1 minute and 5 minute shorts on these red bars when they coincide like this, for example. All three is what I mean. But it's just a question of, oh yeah, it's the NAS, because I'm not really. If you followed me closely, you'll know I was never really, I never really wanted to trade the afternoon. I took my trades in the morning before the Frankfurt Open, finish before the Frankfurt Open, like today actually, 7 o'clock. And that's it. I'll shut the charts, go and play golf or do whatever with the missus. But now I've got more time on my hands. It's just a question of specialising and focusing on absolutely everything. Now, I'm not trying to be blasé about this. It's just that it's if you do the work, you put the work in, like athletes do, and all that lot. Musicians do, surgeons have to, pilots have to do tons of work to keep their licenses. All these specialist people, if you do the work, then you can't fail to actually get better, can you? So that's the reason. So any of you really, really struggling, I hope the point of these pep talk videos, if you like, are to encourage you that there is light at the end of the tunnel. Simple as that. So what else have we got going on here? Oh, US Tech was, sorry, this is US Tech. Gold has been crazy. And I have to be honest now, I would rather trade US Tech and the American stuff at this time of the day. So it sort of added an extra bonus of confidence, because gold, I'm naturally afraid of thinking that I could take gold past the R3. And this is interesting. Look, it's gone from the daily pivot to the R1 to the R2, and they've all been tested and worked on. Here, swapped over, resistance becomes support, broken with a close, little pullback, tests it to the pip, and off it goes. I mean, all of this stuff on my charts is there for a really good reason. I've called them magnetic pivots before. So, guys, all I'm trying to do is sort of encourage you that this is potentially the right way, because if you can sit down and take a dozen trades a day or whatever, you only need one, remember, and you only need your target. If you need £100 or £1,000 or £10,000 a day to maintain the lifestyle that you require, then you have to work out how to do that with the minimum of risk in the market. It used to be for me one trade, then maybe one in the evening. It's all documented on Twitter. But that was 4.5 years ago at I don't know, 50 hours a week, more probably in reality. So, oops, just kicked the dog. So, not hard, don't worry. So there you go, guys. It's all just common sense, really. Now, I've mentioned this on Twitter before now as well. Common sense trading. So it's there. Look left before you consider entering a trade on the right. This has got scary, so I looked for a better opportunity, a better option, and US Tech was it today. And this thing I said earlier in a video, um, at one stage I wanted all these added up to see which was the most powerful. I think, to be fair, that's what Onesie did when he gave us the option to put the most powerful at the top, as it were. So I haven't obviously ticked that box here. But that's not even when this is at the top, it's not necessarily the way I use the RSI histo anymore. It's there's newer ways, and they're always coming to the fore now as well. So anyway, I'm waffling because really and truthfully, I've said everything that needs to be said about the existing strategy. All the newer stuff I need to think carefully about and then create newer videos for, and that will go on. That will go in another place. Twitter's what's the word? Toxic, really now, and YouTube is. So anyway, um, I'll keep encouraging you. I'll keep reminding you of the importance of what we've got on here and how important it is just to get the screen time under your belt. And really and truthfully, the best times to trade are, we've talked about that hundreds of times as well. The H4 closes, H1 closes, M30 closes, M15 closes, market opens 7 a.m., 8 a.m. I'm not awake for the Asian session. And then your 1:30 and your 2:30 UK times, which are the American ones, and it just goes on. I've been watching stocks on TradingView as well. It works perfectly with stocks. So there you go, guys. Anyway, I'm waffling. Apologies. It's just too hot to be outside, so I'm spending the time studying charts and watching for new ways to trade this stuff every day. I mean, flat top candles, all the traditional stuff, big wicks we've talked about, wicks don't lie, Roger Banks, hammers, mentioned that in the US Tech chart. I wonder what US Tech's doing now. I've got a tiny percentage, 1% running on that as well. So just to keep my hand in. That hammer I talked about on whatever time frame that was, M15. Yeah, I mean that is such a gimme, which is another reason why I took the long there. But and then all the other stuff that we talk about, which I've mentioned 1,000 times. This could be another hammer style candle forming here, and these hammers, they are actually 2B reversals more often than not on the lower time frames. Sharp move down and a quick move up after it's hit a level of supply and demand. So I really am waffling now, but let's just have a look at this 2B here. I wonder if, yeah, so it's not the clearest, but you can see the pattern there. Swing 1, swing 2, swing 3, or you can just keep counting, whatever you want to do. So that's the lowest low of the 2B, isn't it, that Mr. Sporandio loved. That's the poke below it. So this potentially would be the level to consider trading high. And as you can see, I mean, this is what I see it as clear as the nose on the face. You've closed above it, but look, there's no momentum, nothing. You know, so potentially divergence the other way. There is a bit of divergence up there, but I don't take the M1 divergence too seriously. I mean, it all works. It's all fractal, of course, but we can clearly see this is not good. Timing's not great either. Just before the half-hour candle, the 30-minute. So you know, we observe the 30-minute candle, see what's going on there. This effectively, when I see big green and big red candles, you know, the price can move all the way to the bottom again. But that's another thought process altogether. So not necessarily will, as you can see there, but again, look left to see what might happen on the right hand side. You know, we're coming down to a 3CR there. We've got the 2B level there that we put on the 1 minute. Just it's never ending. You know, once if you focus on the 2Bs and you know whether you have the 3CRs on your charts or not, I know them like the back of my hand. So I've got a superpower now with the 3CRs for me, but it does take a lot of learning. But you can't unlearn this stuff, so it's a good place to be, and I want you to get there too. And all I can do is encourage you. You know, that's it. So I hope I am encouraging you. I would love to see a few comments because it would be interesting to know, get some feedback, more feedback. Preferably comment in Twitter. It's very difficult to keep up with Twitter and YouTube all at the same time, and live a life and all that malarkey. So anyway, thanks for listening, guys. And apologies for the waffling, but at the end of the day, there's so much on these charts that you just can't stick on a post on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it. So that's it. Thanks. Have a good afternoon.